Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tadaima, a Terrace House Podcast, your weekly companion to your favorite show on Netflix. I'm Robert Scarpanito, and I'm joined here by Daily Wilhelm.
Konbanwa.
Jack Cepeda.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
And Colin Sparling.
I don't know the lyrics to this song.
Yeah, one.
I was going to let you keep going. I was going to let you see where you brought that.
I wasn't kidding. I really don't know. Send help.
Yeah, I don't know the words, but can I just say, as a 90s kid, okay, I'm outing myself here, that when I was growing up, when they're like, in 2020, there's going to be flying cars and you teleport to work and shit, it's like the Jetsons. It's not really like that. And it's kind of weird to say that we're in 2020. Like, it's like actually surreal to me. I don't even believe it.
Yes, today is our last episode of 2019 of the 2010s of the decade. And we're coming in close too. We're uploading this right here on New Year's Eve, but it's kind of surreal that we're at this seminal point in kind of all of our life, in humanity's life. Maybe.
Maybe.
Let's get big here. Yeah.
Are we at on the verge of an apocalypse?
You never
Probably.
know. 2020 is kind of, it has a lot of weight to it, you know?
Yeah. There's 4/20/2020. That's gonna happen.
That's true. You'll get high all month long in April.
Yeah. This is gonna be 4/20 for an entire month.
And that's it. That's all that 2020 is good for.
Dude, the West Coast is gonna be one giant weed cloud.
2069. We're pretty far from 2069, though, aren't we?
I want that to be the year I die, so that it's on my tombstone. And
Forever.
then people can just pass by and go, nice.
Nice.
Oh, no, she died, but nice.
Dude, how many people, this is super dark now, but how many people are going to commit suicide on April 20th?
Stop. No.
2069, just for the joke. Don't do that, please.
Don't do
4/20/69.
my God.
All these people down in 2069 that are listening to this podcast, don't do that.
The highest death toll in natural history.
It's not worth the joke.
positive route, and people try to time their children's births on that day.
So start
that'd be really
fucking in. Let's work 9 months backwards.
Right.
We're looking at summer 2068. Start thinking about having kids then.
Are we actually doing this? Are we actually
This is our advice.
telling people when to have sex now? Is this how we're ending the year, guys?
Absolutely. So listen, I think it'd probably be like your kids at that point having kids. So you got to be like, listen, like I know you're not in labor right now, but like something's got to happen. Like we only have one shot at this. So there's going to be so many people inducing labor.
It's a 24-hour window. We got to make it.
Let's go. Boom, boom.
So with that, we're sending off the 2010s by doing what we do best, talking about Terrace House, one of the most important TV shows to ever grace the internet waves of the decade. Yes. I would say, honestly, it kind of is like a great show to. It's coming into prominence this decade, and I hope that 2020 becomes an even bigger year for it, considering it's part of the name of this current season. But this week, we're talking about episode 14 of Tokyo 2019-2020 Part 2. Just a moment, please. I have to go change real quick. I'll be right back.
Bye, Robert.
Bye, guys.
What? Yeah. Okay. All right. We're taking over the show, guys. All right. He's gone. So much like Part 1, Part 2 is getting off to a very quick start. If you remember, it was only episode 2 where we had our first incident, the tempura incident. You know, and it seemed like Part 1 was going to be, we were going to be in for a ride. Ended up fizzling out at the end there. But, you know, we've heard it on good authority. People on Discord are saying that Part 2 is much better. And it is certainly living up to that, because episode 14 is chock full of stuff to talk about at every turn. There's a lot of developments happening that I didn't even foresee. It's a good episode, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, I will be honest with you guys. Like, usually, like whether it's on air or off air, we're usually conspiring some sort of theory, right? Come up with some sort of theory of what's going to happen the next episode. Like, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, these two people are going to get together, this isn't going to happen. I didn't know what to expect with this episode. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I didn't really have any hard and fast ideas in my head already of like, hey, yeah, this definitely seems like it's going to happen. The only thing I was really anticipating was like, is Risako and Kenny, like, is Kenny finally going to leave, or is he not going to leave? Is that this episode? Is that the next episode? I don't know, man. Like, I was just like, I'm ready for Kenny to leave, and we got it this episode. So, hey.
I will say that I can't believe we've gone this long in the episode. We haven't welcomed our special guest in the studio in my bedroom right now, Mr. Yoshimi Tokui, in the cardboard. I almost said in the flesh, but
in the cardboard flesh.
In the cardboard, yeah. Guys, I'm not joking. Okay, just close your eyes and imagine there is right now at this very moment a cardboard full size cutout of Tokui behind me right now. I know you can't see it because we're in podcast land, but just imagine that. And he looks svelte, right? He looks young. Yeah. He looks healthy.
Yeah.
And so Tokui will be forever with me, forever with us, no matter what. We love this man.
Yeah, I saw it on Amazon and I was like, you know who needs that? Jack.
Needs it in his life.
Yeah, I still am like, you didn't buy it for yourself. You didn't get one for yourself, but we'll see.
If I bought it for myself, I couldn't see it every time we podcast. But now that it's your problem, I can see it every time.
Silently judging us at every moment. He's just got a little bit of a smile. His hands are folded. It looks like he could be ready to, give his 2 cents at any moment.
He's wearing a sport coat. He's got this kind of look on his face like, I'm about to roast this fool. Like a little smirk there.
He's like the angel on Jack's shoulder whispering things. Or maybe the demon. Who's to say? But
he's a little devilish, yeah.
It's a damn shame, though, that like as of what we know in international Netflix time, we don't know what will happen with Tokui's career, as we did a whole video about the whole tax incident he was involved with. So we don't know about Tokui's career, and he's really called into question right now. So whether or not he's going to be on the Terrace House in the future, we don't know yet.
If you want to see what this cardboard cutout looks like, it will be on our Instagram and it will be on our Discord. So follow us on both those places.
Hell yeah. And all those links are in the description below. But we've been lollygagging for enough. Let's dive into episode 14. Just a moment, please, where it opens up with the panel. And I am delighted to see a 7-foot tall man sitting in Sho-chan's chair. Rui Hachimura is back from the Washington Wizards. Or maybe he's been there the whole time because, they record 2 episodes, in back to back, right? So he just kind of came for a whole recording session, but it's nice to see him there. And much like last episode, he comes in with these really hot takes, but these pretty observational, ideas with the show for a 21-year-old, to the point where the rest of the panel is kind of like, oh, wow, that was insightful. That was very deep. Good for you. This time around, I think they're all mocking Yama for not kissing people, but also Rui thinks that Kenny maybe needs a little bit of Irish courage to get his feelings out there.
He's basically like, yeah, if only you could have that courage without being drunk.
Yes.
And that's in reference to the ending of our last episode, where we see Kenny try to pull a kiss. He tried to pull in Risako for a kiss, and it ended with him getting absolutely denied, boxed out, just didn't happen. And it ends with a see you then. By the way, very awkward thing to say.
Goodbye, see you. Okay.
See you then. See you then.
Like, as awkward as it was, I definitely agree. I somewhat like Kenny drunk because he is a lot more forward and, gets out there exactly what he's thinking. The whole thing in the last episode about like, I would like you to rethink, your response to be as to whether or not, you want to go out because clearly you're having second thoughts. And I think that was a better way to approach that than to just kind of like let that drop, especially because she's been wanting him to be more or less passive and more, I don't want to use aggressive, but, forward. Get it out there. Say what you feel. What do you want out of this? And
taking initiative.
Initiative. And when he has that, as you said, Irish courage, he's able to, get that out there a little more easily.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. It's a pretty interesting take on him. I never really thought of the idea of like, oh, a 32-year-old man still needs alcohol to say what's in his heart, but I don't know. We're all different, right? We all grow at different rates. Did someone have a thought?
No. Well, I mean, I guess kind of. Like, the thing about Kenny is, like, it kind of gave me a fresh perspective on the Lost Tapes episode, too. We were talking about, like, all the clips that they cut out and stuff like that. And it definitely humanized him for me a lot more. But I definitely think that, like, the general takeaway after this episode for me was, like, yeah, I'm ready for Kenny to let the house go.
Yes, and we will get to that at the end of this episode. But let's chug forward here. We're in the girls' room with all the girls there, and we learn in this scene that Risako was very moved by that song that Kenny sang after Sex on Fire, not the Kings of Leon version, but he's saying this song that he claims that he wrote about Risako. I'm still skeptical. I feel like he just kind of wrote it and was like, oh, Risako would fit for this, but whatever, you know, I mean, what matters here is that it made Risako feel things and stuff. And stuff. And she's kind of reconsidered Kenny as like, oh, maybe, you know, maybe he could be the one.
This is what Kenny wanted to avoid. We, you know, for so long that he didn't want to be Kenny the singer. But I feel like that was his, like, last resort, and it's working, unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it on Risako. But I'm still surprised how, I guess, wishy-washy she's being. At least she, and we'll get to it later, but she acknowledges that she's totally being wishy-washy, that she totally isn't making up her mind. And everyone else is just kind of, well, you just gotta think it through.
Yeah, and I get the feeling that we just don't have, like, even though more stuff happened between them, right? I get the sense that when all of us are talking about this, there's really just not that much to add, you know, to that conversation. It's like we're kind of hitting the same beats with these two again at the beginning of this episode. Not much is going anywhere until we kind of learn that Kenny is actually leaving the house, and then they do talk again. So in that sense, it's kind of like we're waiting the rest of this episode for that talk to happen between them as far as those two go. And then, of course, we have a few other things that we deal with in the meantime.
And so when we were complaining as well about kind of sloppy editing and like not really setting things up, this episode here, episode 14, is actually a pretty good exception to the rule in terms of the editors and the way the story is flowing, quote unquote story is flowing. Here is when Risako is at the gym with her parkour friends, Taishi. By the way, he's really Spider-Man. That dude, the flips he was doing were fucking impressive. And I was just like, wow, I was really blown away. I watched it a couple times just because he's so good. But anyways, when they're having the conversation there, right, they're doing it early in the show, and they're trying to like establish what Risako's feelings and emotions are and what her temperature is. And she talks about where Kenny tried to kiss her and she pulled away. And they said, that's your first clue right there. Your instincts when you were confronted with that pop quiz was telling you that you shouldn't do it because you had the hesitation. If you hesitate like that with a jump, you're not going to make it. You're going to fall to your death, right? So they were kind of setting it up to be a rejection speech she was going to have with him, which, as we know now, you know, kind of crescendos later at the end of the episode for a really big emotional punch. And it was pretty cool, actually, now that we can look back at this episode, you know, in retrospect.
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up, Jack, because I actually do want to ask you guys, I want to ask the table about your thoughts on that sort of philosophy. Do you think that's a good, like, that sort of equals out when it comes to relationships? That sort of like, if you hesitate, you might fail, that sort of thing? Or you might not be meant to be in the same sense?
So timing is a really big deal. And I think that's where Kenny is completely clueless. He's clueless on timing, with how and when to say things, how and when and where to kiss her. Obviously, he's struck out kind of twice there now at this phase. He's just really bad at feeling it out. And there's a saying for that in Japanese, I think, like reading the room. He's just really kind of bad at that in a sense, it seems like. And so I kind of am a big fan, more to your broader question, Colin, about listening to your gut and going with what feels right. You know, I've found that leads to, in my past, you know, just more fulfilling, passionate relationships, you know? So it's worked for me to follow my gut when it comes to love and romance, but I think everyone's going to have their own approach. You know, I don't think it's one size fits all kind of thing.
But if you were Risako in that situation and you like instinctively turned away, you would take that as a sign?
Yes. Yeah. If a girl tried to kiss me, I will say that safely. If a girl tried to kiss me and if I was like, like flinchy, I was like, oh, I must not like you at all. Yeah, I would.
Gotcha.
I totally would have gone for it if again it was someone I liked.
Yeah, I really felt like Taishi was being like a Jedi master in that moment because first of all, he was doing like all the Yoda flips and swinging around, etc. I was waiting for like the lightsaber to pop out, genuinely.
Yeah.
But I loved that when he said that life is just a series of pop quizzes. It's like, you know, you don't really think about it until it's happening right in front of you. And it's like, what are you going to instinctually do? So, yeah, I feel like where Risako is right now is that she sees like the potential there. She's like, I don't know, in any other situation, any other sense, this relationship or potential for a relationship should work out, but I'm just not feeling it. And it's like she's trying to logic her way into the relationship. And it's like, that's not how you do it. You gotta just go with your gut feeling.
Yeah, my concern is that she's forcing herself to try to like him maybe a little bit too much. That's the worry I have.
Because my thing here is that, I mean, maybe this is a little bit of a naive romanticist way to approach relationships, but if you have to think for more than a month, do I like this guy? Is he the right guy for me? I still need to get to know him more before I think I like him. Spoiler alert, you probably don't like him. Or at the very least, not romantically so, right? Like, I'm not saying every relationship has to be this passionate, sweep off your feet, you know, end of a romantic novel kind of vibe. But it shouldn't take you 30 human days to figure out, I think I like this person, you know? Like, that's a bit much.
That's
Shit, I think it's been longer than that.
That's a concern. And here at the beginning of the episode, like I said, you know, with the editing, they're setting it up later for her to have that talk with him, like, okay, I've conferred with my parkour friends and they made me realize I don't like you. That was the whole thought I had going into this, like, oh, this is gonna be a rejection talk, right?
Yeah. But you know, Risako's not the only one having love troubles in the house. You know, previously in the girls' room, we also have Kaori kind of talking about her whole thing with Shohei, you know, that she does actually in fact really like him. But now that she's heard, oh, Shohei kind of sees me more as a friend, I'm trying to move on from those feelings, pack away those feelings, and not worry about them. Whereas Haruka's saying, well, why do you gotta move on? Why can't you just tell him you like him?
Because he loves you, Haruka.
That's a dangerous ride to be on right there. Yeah. Is that good advice on Haruka's part? I'm not entirely sure. Like, don't move on. You know what I'm saying? Like, go after it, get closure. That's a real slippery slope because, I don't know, I feel like it's a very situational thing. But, I mean, if you already know he sees you as a friend, then I think you're only setting yourself up to hurt yourself.
I think that's just the way Haruka operates, though, right? Haruka is a very I need closure kind of person, you know?
Yeah,
Remember
absolutely.
how she pursued Kenny, right? She needed... Yeah, she got, you know, she cried in front of him and just needed to know, like, is there something here? You know, she didn't, and she took the rejection really well, but that's also how Haruka operates. I don't think we can say one-to-one that's the same for Kaori, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's one. Well, absolutely, they operate differently, but I don't think there's any one definitive answer for everyone out there.
The part right before it cut to the intro, aka the shitro, was really crazy. Like where Kaori said, I liked him in past tense. Haruka calls her out. And then she goes, is that true? And she goes, I wish it was. Like, holy shit. Kaori is crushing hard on Shohei. She's trying to hold it in. Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely likes him more than initially let on, which is crazy because she's been like, I mean, there's been a small handful of conversations she's had about it in the past, but it's been relatively low key, and it's been very much overshadowed by Risako and Kenny, that's for sure.
And Shohei's barely in this episode too. I think he has like a line, like one or two lines.
I didn't even remember.
He's just sitting there reading One Piece at the end. It wasn't One Piece,
yeah, but he stole the show though. I mean, in the Lost Tapes, you know, he needs time to recharge.
Yeah.
In the
his one line was, there's a pattern when you compliment Shohei, he doubles down on it. Remember, this has come up before where he's like, yeah, right, I'm the best thing ever. Like, yeah, we get it. It's sarcasm, but it's just like his knee-jerk reaction to it. So Risako was saying bye, you know, at the end. I don't want to jump too ahead there, but then he just goes, yeah, I know, I was great, wasn't I? Or something like that.
I'm great.
It's just
I'm
like,
great.
oh,
I know
you're so
it.
funny,
Confidence.
Shohei. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
that was his one line this whole episode.
I mean, that to me reeks of humor as a defense mechanism, you know, and I think I love that about him, but I also think that we're not going to get too many deep, like, understanding the person behind Shohei. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're going to get any really deep nugs of dank info about him. But
Nugs
let's table of dank info, yeah. Let's table the Shohei Kaori discussion here for a bit, because we need to dig deep into Ruka, aka never gonna be Spider-Man.
Oh,
God.
How much time do you think we've spent speaking out into these microphones about this boy?
About
A
Spider-Man?
lot. About the same thing too. It just keeps rearing its head.
But
Yes.
like this conversation between Ruka and Haruka was like on a different level for me, because I mean, it was Haruka, so she's always a lot more forthcoming and blunt with what she says, but it felt like it was almost like she needed to be even more blunt with him, because this boy, it's like starting to feel delusional that he's like, well, you know, I just want to be Spider-Man. And I feel like we finally found out, and correct me if I'm wrong about this or if you think differently, but he really doesn't want to be an actor. He just wants to be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately, no question, just wants to be Spider-Man.
But he doesn't want to like parkour or train. He just wants to be Spider-Man.
I love that Haruka brings up, I know a literal 8-year-old who
Third
has
grader.
lived on this earth for 8 years, who said the same thing you did. I want to be Spider-Man. You, Ruka, a 20-year-old, have the same goal as an 8-year-old. And that didn't shake him at all.
Nope.
For him, that was like,
flustered.
Not at all.
for him, he was like, well, yeah, because Spider-Man's fucking cool,
Yeah,
right?
he's like, lots of guys want to be Spider-Man. He's rationalized this so much internally with him. And I will say this. I think we need to give Haruka credit here, because she's being a real friend and like showing a lot of patience here, where I don't think I would show patience with this. I would like shake this boy like, you are stupid. What is wrong with you? Slap him a couple times.
You still wouldn't get it, man.
Give him a
Still wouldn't
swirly.
get it.
But this is a very nice thing she's doing here. She's spending her time and energy, you know, one-on-one at the dining room table, trying to help, like genuinely trying to help him and give him good advice. And said that you might find people to cheer you on for this dream of being Spider-Man, but they're not going to have your best interest in mind. You know, and that's true. I totally agree with that.
That was really good advice.
This is like almost some Shohei level wisdom that
it was good.
that Haruka's dropping. And what I got out of this conversation is that Ruka is denser than a fucking chunk of iron. Like, this dude just, I cannot get through to him. And Haruka is trying her damnedest to, like, she's throwing him a line. She's like, hey, I'm throwing you a life preserver right now. You're overboard. Like, and you need to just grasp onto this motherfucker, and I'm trying to bring you back in.
I love that her throwing a lifeline to him is, you realize that Tom Holland is an actor, right? He's not Spider-Man. He's an actor, and what you should want to be is also an actor, right? And she throws him the literal occupation that he should be going for, at least if he wants to be Spider-Man. And he's not at all taking this, you know? And she tries to make it a little easier by breaking things down by steps, right? And I think that's good life advice. If you like, this is just pro tips from Tadaima, right? If you have really big life goals, which you should, you know, you should always be ambitious, break it down by little steps, because, you know, you should be able to do small things one day at a time. And for this right here, it's learn English. You're going to need to know English if you're going to Hollywood.
It's
this. And his whole thing with English is real rough.
So I was like pulling my hat down over my eyes when he still didn't get it after the English conversation, when he was just like, you know, I try to practice my English with foreigners that come into the store that he works at. And now he's like breaking it down word for word. And you could just tell Haruka's like just shaking her head and like, dude, you are completely missing the point. Like, none of this is relevant.
Like,
none of it.
Like, I get what he was saying.
We could spend an hour talking about this.
Yeah. God.
Yeah.
I get what he was saying. Like, you know, it's very good to, you know, immerse yourself in a language and try to be using it conversationally versus just studying out of a textbook. But you gotta study somewhat out of a textbook in order to get that vocab that he clearly doesn't have. And he's not gonna learn enough English to be Spider-Man by just knowing enough to get by in like a store where it's like, oh, you want this one or you want that one, and then not understanding what it's is.
Yeah, and that exactly. And becoming Spider-Man definitely doesn't mean going to a Marvel-themed bar and enjoying an Iron Man beer.
I mean, he doesn't even know how to use please yet either. Like, these are like basic things. And there's a lot to unpack here. There's a lot. But one part here is that you're exactly right, Daly, to your point. Like, you can't just have conversational English to, like, you know, engross yourself in that. And you're never going to get engrossed in English just working at a skateboard shop in you know, Haruka or wherever it is. So anyways, he said, though, isn't it easier doing that rather than me studying? It's like, dude, if you're just looking for the easy way out with everything, you're never going to have anything worth having, you know, by constantly looking for that easy way out. And this episode made me realize the major reason why I don't like Ruka is because he makes me actually dislike Torichan. I'm sorry I'm saying that, but like the way she defends him so ardently and like just always comes to his defense at every turn, like he can do no wrong to her. It makes me kind of like dislike her a little bit. And I really like Torichan, but that's like kind of the underlying thing here that's making me dislike Ruka immensely.
So
Ruka defense force.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the things that like, so with Ruka, I'm really surprised that he is 20 years old and he's still getting away with like having thoughts like this. Was he coddled like that much as a child? Like, did his parents not come in and like, listen, you need to ground yourself and like, you need to pursue some sort of realistic career that you want to do, because having these third grade dreams isn't going to cut it. Like, there was no one there to tell him that. Apparently,
he's even more coddled than Yudai. Easily, he doesn't know where the button is for the washing machine. He just learned how to cook. You know, he thinks that so his dream, I guess, is to, now that we know this clearly defined, to find someone that does CG to make a video of him shooting webs out his arms. That's his dream.
Like,
am I hearing this right?
We'll do that for you, buddy. This right?
Did you guys get that too?
That's what I got out of it.
So he has one video of that. That's okay. And go on.
I'd be so much less concerned if he, like Yudai, was being like wishy-washy, where he was like, oh, maybe I'll go to chef school. Oh, maybe I won't. I'll do it myself and I'll just get like a job and I'll train myself. Or maybe I'll do this or maybe I'll do that. He is one-track mind Spider-Man.
My question...
He wanted to work at that bar and they weren't even hiring. Bro.
Yeah, he just doesn't think through life in ways that I think will help him survive, you know? Because when I think of, at least, okay, let's start with a very basic. I want to be Spider-Man, right? Okay, that's a very basic dream, simple, but there are many steps you can take to get to that.
Is it?
It can be. He's making it unrealistic, but think about it, right? Right now, Spider-Man is Tom Holland, at least in the MCU, right? But do you think Ruka maybe like watches other movies and then notices Tom Holland's in them and thinks, why the fuck's Spider-Man in this movie? Or does he realize that Tom Holland's an actor? You know what I mean? Like, does he know the difference between real life and the MCU?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Now I'm just more worried about...
Oh, no.
Now I'm leaving this conversation even more worried about him than I walked in.
Like, I can't think of any other movie Tom Holland's in right now because I'm that much of a degenerate. But... I mean, do you think he watches like Star Wars and then sees Daisy Ridley in other movies and is like, the fuck? Why is Rey here? What's going on? Like,
Rey?
Is she going to use the Force to solve this one? I don't know, man.
I don't know. So for a second, I want to compare him to Armand for a second, right? Because Armand, while he may not have like any one specific goal in his life, right? Like when he was on Terrace House, his goal was to be happy. That was like what he wanted to do. And that's a goal, right? But it's not necessarily pinpointing any one set thing. The difference is Armand was doing something to get there, right? He was doing, and not to mention he would bust his ass at the jobs he would take too, right? And then here's Ruka, right? Like not even sure like where he wants to end up, how he's going to make money. He's just like, I'm going to work at Murasaki Sports, whatever. And like, I don't really care for this job either. And I'm just kind of like doing my thing or whatever. And I bet he probably doesn't even do much to excel at his job that he currently has either, if I had to guess. You know what I'm saying? He's probably very passive in his current workplace, and he's like, okay, well, I'm thinking about working at this Marvel themed bar now.
Like he's not going to be shift manager.
Right. No, definitely not.
It's too hard.
Even if he does work at the Marvel team bar, what's going to change? What's going to change? He's surrounded by comic book nerds and people who like to talk about comic book movies. Okay, that's great. But
yeah,
you're still a bartender first of all.
Like Tokubi said, it's like in this phase, if you're comparing him to Rui, the basketball player, right? It's like he hasn't even picked up a ball yet. He's just now decided on what shoes to buy, but he is nowhere close to it. So I don't think this is too soon to just say I've given up
on Ruka.
I'm kind of tapping out on Ruka. Like, dude, you're hopeless here. And Haruka, I think, was very kind of her to spend this much time talking about this, but it just seems to all be bouncing off of him. So I'm just kind of done.
Oh. You know
Oh.
what just occurred to me?
Oh no.
Oh,
Where was the Kenny sit down with Ruka to try and talk this shit out?
it's probably somewhere.
It's not in the lost tapes of part 1 or in any of this so far. So
They
who knows?
apparently
That's
had
really
some. They apparently had some talks though. I mean, they're crying. There was a big hug at the end.
They had to, but we didn't
That
get any
hug.
Taka
We had that hug.
we didn't get any like Taka Yudai moments.
Clearly, though, even if you have a good talk with him and have good advice, it ain't gonna do him any good.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't do Yudai any good either, but
he's
like
beyond.
Mhm.
at least he tried. At least Taka tried, and I get that Kenny was a little less involved than Taka was with the other people in the house. At least it seems like it. But like at the same time, man, like that dude, he needs direction in his life, and Haruka is trying her damnedest to give it to him.
This is the
Like,
fucking
she-
like 4th or 5th time that someone has talked to him about this. I'm done. I'm done with Ruka.
Haruka's literally said in this episode that literally a month ago, everyone kind of cornered you and said, hey, you should probably learn English to do this. And he still hasn't taken any steps. And she's kind of pointing it
That's
out,
true.
right?
She
And
did say
and
that.
just
You're
kind of
right.
attacking him and is like,
I had so much hope when he started like cooking. As naive as those efforts were, it was still an effort. And then I think it was just a couple times, and then he kind of gave up.
it's just
Maybe
sad
Tokubi
state
was
of affairs.
right. Maybe Tokubi was right, and he just ordered a bunch of Uber Eats orders.
Hey,
for that.
maybe.
food.
So I think here's the thing. Here's what's going to need to happen with Ruka, and then we can put a pin in this discussion.
Please.
Or at least in my head, I can put a pin in it for a while. Ruka needs to either stay in Terrace House and try to do something, or he needs to leave Terrace House and he needs to live life, and he needs to go through a rough time. He needs to he needs to suffer a little bit.
I would
You know what
be
I'm
happy
saying?
with him just having a good job.
Dang, Colin.
Like, get a good job and like do something, improve yourself in some way. That's all.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Low bar.
he's real fortunate to be in the position he's in, and like I'll give you that. But I think that like he just hasn't experienced, hard work. He hasn't experienced going through tough financial times, what have you. You know what I'm saying? Like he hasn't really experienced life.
He hasn't been in the shit yet.
Spoiled
Exactly.
baby.
Right.
He hasn't been in the shit.
He's always been coddled. But let's move on, because we can't coddle Ruka much longer, right?
No,
I'm done talking about this guy.
I'm kind of just over it.
We've
so
dedicated
much
so much of
more.
our show to him. It's fucking done, man.
There's so much more episode to go through, y'all.
Yes.
So we're in Shibuya. We're in Bar and Patisserie. Megan, I guess is the name of this restaurant. It's a weird name. Hey, Megan,
Megan.
do you own this
Megan.
place, Megan? I think you do. But Kaori's
the
meeting with
Megan?
her friend Mai, and she's kind of venting about work. She's worried that she is peaked, and it's all downhill from here. It's kind of a continuation of the imposter syndrome bit that came up. I think it was episode 10, 11, 12-ish?
11.
Yeah. We have the name of the professor now that made her so self-conscious about her every
Don't
move.
dox him.
Don't dox him. Let's not dox the poor man.
What was his name?
No,
Yamanaka?
don't dox.
Just kidding.
No,
That's like a Smith.
I mean, she kind of did dox
Professor
him, though.
Smith.
She named the university, the name of the professor, and the department. So
He's
I feel like it'd be
famous.
pretty easy to find him.
now he's famous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's a nice continuation of her whole arc, right? Of her working arc. But also we get a bit more of a hint here about her feelings towards Shohei. And I like this, and I kind of I'm curious what you guys think about this. So she says that the kind of crush she has on Shohei isn't one where she wants to hold his hand necessarily, but more that she wants him to be proud of her work. And I think later on in the show, in the panel, I think Tokui says something about how that attraction doesn't seem romantic to him. You think that's more of a, like, I don't know, a working or friendship attraction.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm curious, what do you guys think about that whole, I want him to praise my work?
Well, I haven't really seen or heard anything that signifies it is a romantic sort of affection, right? But I could definitely see it being a respect thing more than anything else, right? Like, hey, I have like envy and a lot of respect for my friend. Like, I want them to be happy. I want them to work hard. I want them to be successful, right? Yeah. And that's sort of the sense I get. I don't really get the sense that it's like this lovey-dovey thing at all.
I think it could easily turn into that. I think a lot of relationships could easily get physical when you have like a senpai scenario, right? Senpai kohai thing. I think so. I think it could easily go there. I forgot that Shohei graduated from art school until now. Like, what the fuck is this man done? Like, holy shit. So I know, right? So everything. So she is jealous of him for that, right? And she wants to impress him. And I just was really shocked to hear that she was careful to not do anything uncool, that he would think is uncool. And it's just like, man, Shohei's got the power in this dynamic.
He does.
I feel like she's really projecting, like, ever since she found out, like, he went to art school. That's been a big contention. Like, she feels like a fake because she didn't go to art school. She didn't take the more traditional route to get into the career that she has now. So I feel like it's less about Shohei and more about, like, the fact that he's an art school graduate. Like, he probably, like, is more deserving, heavy air quotes there, deserving of, like, an illustrator career or more equipped to do that than I am. Like, I feel like it's, Shohei's great. He's, like, very admirable. I can totally see having, like, something of an infatuation for him, but I feel like it's mostly about her own feelings of inadequacy, which she totally shouldn't have, because I love her.
That's
she's great.
Actually really good insight, Daly.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Robert.
My take on this is I'm leaning more toward Jack, where I think it could totally turn into romance. I think part of this stems from the idea that when you're creating art, you're creating something really personal, right? Even if it's for work, right? No matter what kind of art you're making, whether you're writing something or you're painting, drawing, creating music, creating a film, all of it is very personal. Like, what comes out on the screen, on the paper, is something that came from your heart, right? I mean, at least if it's good art, if it's truly something that comes from your soul. And I think wanting someone's praise about it, or someone's respect or attention toward this thing that's so personal to you, I kind of really get where that's coming from, where I think that is a romantic thing. Because if you're an artist, you could give less than two shits about what some other random stranger thinks about what you've created. But when there's that one person where you're like, I don't care what anyone else says about what I've created, but I care about what this person thinks about what I do. That I think is one of the strongest driving forces when it comes to art. And, it's rooted in that is romance in a way.
Yeah. And if I was sitting across the table from her at Megan, it's a weird sentence, I would tell her to enjoy her current success, but also always strive to improve, show effort to get better in her craft, because she has her own signature style. She has her own signature brand. Study other artists, and apply, new techniques to modernize what you do, and always constantly hone and improve. But also kind of take a moment, take an hour, take a day out of the week and enjoy what you have. Because if right now, she's on the crest upward, and she is very successful. She is one of those lucky artists that can pay all the bills and sustain herself by just drawing and illustrating. That's incredible. And that's also incredibly rare. Okay. So if she spends her entire time in misery worrying about it ending, it is going to end. And then she's going to look back on these days and say, you know what? When it was happening, when it was good, I didn't even enjoy it at that time. So that'd be my advice to her as a friend.
That is...
Be present.
Wow. All you guys, I think, have great points on this. I think the only thing I have to add is that I think what she does have on Shohei is she is very focused, and she's a hard worker, and she knows exactly what the sort of direction she wants to be in. Like, she's definitely dedicated to doing the art thing, whereas Shohei's like kind of doing the actor thing, but kind of doing like 10 other things.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
he's an everyman.
Yeah, and Shohei is great. Don't get me wrong, but like he lacks focus. But whereas Kaori does have focus, and she goes as far as to recognize that, yeah, hey, my art might be getting stagnant, and she recognizes that it might be time to like work on and improve her art. And Shohei happens to be one of those people that helps her see that. Makes her feel that way. And so if she goes off to art school, I mean, that only benefits her. I mean, assuming that she can afford it and it's like a comfortable financial situation for her and all that stuff. But like, I don't see how that could do anything but help, in my opinion.
The last thing I want to add is that we now know that this is a one-way street, right? Kaori likes Shohei and his tooth do not like her. In a romantic sense, yes.
And what if his tooth has different feelings? We don't know that.
Yeah, we haven't asked him yet, actually. Yeah.
We have established that the tooth is another person, is another entity.
Yes.
It is a one-way street, though, so that's kind of sad for her.
Yes.
Whispers up to Shohei. I don't know, man. I kind of like her.
Dude, this is like Twilight Zone. What if it does whisper to him at night?
Between his teeth.
Yeah, I want that so bad now.
Ruka, I don't know how to explain this, but like my tooth, it whispers to me.
If you guys have no idea what we're talking about, last episode.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's going to be one of those things where Ruka's going to be laying in bed at night after Kenny has already left. And then Shohei's going to be at the bottom. He's going to hear like a voice like, yeah, man, I think you should go for Kaori and yada, yada. And he's like, that doesn't sound like Shohei at all. Who's there?
Who is this?
Who is this?
His tooth just has a New York accent for some reason.
Yeah. What if his tooth has a mind of its own and like wants to bail from Shohei and like whispers to Kaori, if you want his talent, take me, make me your own, make me your tooth. Like carry all of his talent.
Oh, no.
Imbue me into your art supplies.
It's like hanging onto her earlobe and like whispering sweet nothings into her ear.
I am thoroughly disturbed right now
Earring out of
with
his
the
tooth.
image of like her having like a tooth earring.
Yes.
Like Shohei's like, "Where's my tooth?" And then Kaori's like, "Oh, covers ear, nothing." I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Basically, Shohei's fucking Austin Powers reverse. Where's my mojo? And then Kaori's like, I have it right here on my ear. It's your tooth.
It's his kryptonite, guy.
Okay, so let's move on. Let's go back to the first.
Power.
Let's go to the first floor here. It's Kenny's going away party. They're having a tacopa, a taco party.
I love the way the Japanese just shorten things for the sake of shortening it.
Same. But apparently Kenny got real horny for tacos ever since he went to Okinawa, so that's why they're all...
That sure is how they worded it.
So that's why they're all making tacos for him. And I need to point this out in this scene because it's such a beautiful moment of visual irony where they have a long shot of Risako and she's wearing a shirt that says in a state of elation, like kind of on the pocket, and she looks sad as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. That was the wrong shirt for the occasion.
She had a lot of 1,000-yard stares going on because she's like, oh, fuck, I have to reveal some shit to Kenny and then to everyone else. It was heavy on her mind, and it was showing at the table.
Right. So she brings Kenny into the roof, right? She's like, hey, can we talk on the roof, right? And before we get to that scene, we cut over to the panel because the panel needs a moment here to talk. And I think for the most part, we're all pretty spot on with the panel here. They're all kind of dunking on Ruka too, right? The only person defending Ruka is Tori, who even literally says, but he is a baby.
My goodness.
I love how they called her, what was it, Ruka's
Defense
lawyer?
attorney.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like his defense attorney. Like,
Yeah. She's with an iron fist too. And that's the thing, like, Torichan, please drop the Ruka Defense Force stuff. It's not a good look for her, right? Doesn't it kind of make her look a little buffoony?
A little bit.
Doesn't it?
It's getting
a little
pretty
bit.
crazy at
like
this point.
there's not like she defends him at every turn, and it's just like she's never really been like this towards anyone before. You know, usually she seems to have her head on straight about this, but it's like, is lust really that powerful? Because that's what this is, right? It's not love.
How dare you accuse Torichan of feeling human bodily lust? She is an angel and she cannot feel such dirty things.
I don't want this for her. I want better for Torichan. I want better for Torichan. She's one of my favorites.
All I'm saying
I
is
think she's just playing the heel.
I hope.
She sees the best in people.
The power-
she definitely sees the best in people.
the power of the himbo is a frightening thing. I don't think we can discount that.
I love that thing.
The himbo.
I would love to see them go on a date with the silence, with all the awkwardness, with him talking about Marvel the whole time and her just like, Then they go and buy some Spider-Man pajamas
for him,
just him, yeah. And then
For him.
I would like to see that.
Same.
Yeah, I think it ends with her like holding his hand across the street and then like cradling him like a baby. Not so much like it's a romantic thing.
Okay. I don't want to talk about this too much.
Zipping up his backpack.
I want to go back to the roof because there's some big shit going on here.
Let's go to the roof with Kenny and Risako. And here Risako reveals that she still needs more time to figure out how she feels about Kenny and needs to get to know him a little bit more.
Man, what a climax, right, guys?
But here's the thing. So the editing at the beginning of the show, like I said, was setting this up to be rejection. So the whole time I was like, oh, here we go. She's going to lay it down. He's going to leave with his tail tucked. This is going to be it. I mean, was anyone else thinking the same thing when they were walking upstairs?
Yeah. But
I kind of got that feeling.
I was ready for it.
But no, instead, she's like, I still need more time, but I'm still seriously thinking about you. So to prove it, I'm leaving with you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
What's that going to accomplish?
Blindsided me.
What's it, like, seriously, what's that?
That accomplishes nothing. I mean,
I just read this as they're dating, but she doesn't want to call it dating.
As she makes clear
like,
downstairs.
I need to get to know you better. Like everyone, downstairs, everyone was like, wait, so you're dating? And it's like, no, I'm just getting to know him better.
It wasn't
like,
Kenny
that's
like,
what
why
you do
not?
when you're dating. You don't have to have an encyclopedic knowledge of someone before you date them.
Right.
That's just a red flag for me.
Wait, I always study people before I even consider dating them. Is that not how I should? No?
Creepy. It's a little creepy.
It's called stalking.
It's a little creepy.
Yeah. That just tells me she doesn't like him as much as she thinks she does.
Yeah.
And also, did you notice, I'm pretty sure Kenny says why? Why aren't we dating?
Yeah.
And when they have that conversation, I'm pretty sure he throws that out there.
I have a different take on this. I actually, when she said that, the music swelled. I thought it was very romantic. Personally, I thought, wow, if they are going to be a couple, this is the exact move that she needs to make right now. Demonstrate how serious she is about getting to know him. And Daly said on this very show a couple weeks ago, I can't remember the exact episode, but you said this yourself, Daly, that if she stays on the show after he leaves, that's not going to be a good look for her because it looks like she's trying to play the field and see what else is out there. This kind of is, showing that no, she's really in it 100% to get to know him better. She just can't be, for whatever reason, his girlfriend right now. I understand that. But yeah, so I kind of took it as romantic. It kind of made me feel really good about them. I was like, wow, are they going to be an actual couple now? Because given their, constrained time limits here they have because Kenny has to leave, this is about as romantic as they could have possibly gotten with him sitting on his hands for 13, 14 weeks. This is like the positive. This is like hitting the blue trigger in Mass Effect or whatever, right? This is the positive Paragon route. Thank you. So I was kind of happy about it. I don't know. I mean, obviously it's not like a whirlwind romance and I'm not falling head over heels or anything, but I mean, this is the only route it could go in a positive way if they are ever going to be a couple. So I was kind of excited personally.
I think what bothered me the most was the biggest speed bump in this whole thing is after she says, I'm leaving with you. He's like, cool. Can you sit closer to me? And then he tries to kiss her again. And it's like, dude.
Then he pats her head.
Yeah.
A head tapping habit.
That was
a head tapping habit.
That was trying to make up for him getting rejected again from a kiss, which I don't know. I don't understand, what are they? I can understand him being confused as to what are they? Can they kiss? Can they not kiss? I feel like they've kissed before. Maybe not on camera, maybe somewhere else. But I feel like he's not doing that out of the blue.
Yeah, I think the panelists assume that Kenny's a little bit immature and doesn't know when the timing is right for a kiss. I think it's more that they have definitely macked out before, and he's unsure of the timing of when it's okay to kiss.
To make it public.
Yeah.
I could see that. I mean, it is very puzzling because I think she's just acting strange if they've never kissed before. He was drunk. I don't know if he was maybe a little saucy here. But I would have a negative reaction if I go in to kiss him. But for one, okay, just like when I ask somebody out, I always know the answer beforehand. I never ask somebody out, I think, if I don't know if they're going to say yeah. Okay, and that's just me. Also, I don't ever try and kiss somebody unless I know that it's welcome. either. I've never had, so I don't have a lot of experience with people turning their head or getting away like, oh, no, don't, so I can't really relate to that. But if that happened to me, I would be kind of like, oh, gosh, don't do that again.
That shit doesn't happen. That shit ain't supposed to happen unless you're about to break up.
And he did it twice now, it's like, bro, you should learn for the first time. Don't do that. Weird.
Yeah, but I wish them happiness, I guess. I mean, I don't want them to be mean to each other, but it's still.
I hope they get together.
It's just such a weird energy to leave the house on. But I will say what was really nice about Risako's leaving here is that after she announces to the whole house, hey guys, I'm leaving with Kenny, she has kind of a 1-to-1 with everyone, like right there in the living room, while Ruka's reading Aichiro Oda's One Piece, fan of the Terrace House show, Aichiro Oda.
I mean, it's awkward because she's like, all right, we know that I'm leaving. Now let's go downstairs and tell everybody.
Yeah. But I really liked her heart-to-heart with Haruka here because she was like, I know we got into some fights that were pretty bad, but at the same time, I appreciate that you were straightforward with me because I know I'm a little bit immature. And, we all learned a lot of lessons. And I think that is easily the most heartfelt thing to come out of part 1 into part 2 here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you get to see everyone's reaction. She's basically giving them like an 8-hour notice, roughly, that she's leaving. Like, damn.
Yeah. She also thanks Kaori. She thanks Shohei with his, I believe, quote, never-ending fun and harsh wisdom, which I think is something Shohei should put on his business card at some point.
Yes.
Never-ending
harsh
fun,
wisdom.
Harsh wisdom.
Very well filled out business card. I can do this, and supply never-ending fun and harsh wisdom.
And spit my tooth.
Yes.
And then with Ruka, she says, hey, can we talk in private? And that's where this brings this whole scene now into the playroom with Ruka and Risako, where Risako says, we're going to be best friends forever, right? Like, even beyond the show, we're still going to hang out. And
they
Ruka's
promised.
like, yeah, of course.
Be my boyfriend.
Remember that? Yeah, that's all I could think of when they were, like, alone in that room, is that, like, clearly she does not like him in that way anymore, especially after all the Spider-Man reveals. But I wonder what she thinks, like, of that part of herself that was, like, so into Ruka. Like, is that just, like, a feeling of dodge that bullet, or is it like, if only things had been different?
I don't know. I was expecting a little bit more out of this talk than just like, hey, we're still going to be friends, right? I was kind of hoping that, like, that Risako would leave him with some sort of parting advice for
she did
the direction
she did
about Kaori. Kaori.
She said,
like, about Kaori.
Hey, with Kaori, like, consider her feelings too. I mean, you may like the silence, but she doesn't. So,
And I've already said it too. Like, quit giving this guy advice. He doesn't know what to do with it. It's a waste of breath. I don't want us giving him advice anymore. I don't want anyone else giving him advice anymore. I can't wait to see the 2 new people and how they respond to Ruka. Like, that's going to be kind of joyous to me in a sick way to see how they respond to the Spider-Man dream.
Oh, we'll get to the new people.
Oh, man.
I have thoughts.
I'm so excited for the new people.
Same. We're getting to them soon.
Fresh blood.
Fresh meat.
Yes.
But then it's the next morning. They're on the first floor. Everyone's there together. Everyone hugs a goodbye. It's time for Kaori and Risako to take the train to not Terrace House land and leave the house forever. I want to point out here that when Ruka hugs Kenny, he burrows his head into Kenny's chest, very much like a literal child, which everyone comments on. That's very childlike.
That's who this guy is. We've established this.
Kenny looked so awkward then.
Yeah. He's like,
what do I do? He's definitely been pretty indulgent of Ruka, but like that, like, I don't know how to hug someone like that. Like, especially when they're a grown ass person, presumably.
Yeah. Like a tall boy.
Yeah, like if Robert hugged me like that, like head buried in my left breast and then like dudes like hug usually like one arm up, one arm down.
Yeah.
Ruka hugged Kenny like full on waist. They had their like they were like waist to waist, and he buried his head on his chest. It was childlike.
Like maybe he was trying to hide that he was getting teary, getting misty eyed.
Are you his lawyer now? What the fuck?
Are you?
No, sorry.
I don't believe it. I think Ruka's just a baby. But
He's just a baby.
Sayonara, Kenny and not Haruka and Risako. We knew ye well. We wish you great wishes moving forward, even though we're like 4 months behind. They've been off the show for a while now, but we're catching up, and I
wherever you are,
wish them the best.
Good stuff.
I have been stalking their Instagrams to get in updates on their relationship status, and look for that in a future episode of Tadaima.
Oh, hint, drop. But then we cut to Suehirocho, I think is how you say that, with Haruka and Yusuke. They get some boba tea at, friend of the show, Yusuke.
Thank you.
Can't forget that.
I was not expecting to see our boy on this episode.
Man, we've spoken to before, Yusuke.
You think when people leave, that's like the climax of the show? We got a whole nother subplot over here.
Oh yeah. So they're together. They get some boba tea at cha time, which is a choice because any moment with boba tea is frankly the best. And then they go to Tokyo Ite. That's it. But they go there so Yusuke can teach her a bit of the ukulele, and they play a little ditty together. He teaches her a bit of the rhythm section so she can play some chords, and then he improvises and solos over it, and it's pretty cool. That's pretty
that's so cool.
It was awesome.
It was a nice parallel from that one scene at the end of, I think, Girl Fight, where it was Kenny and Yusuke jamming with Haruka in the middle. Now it's kind of like, but now Haruka's part of the jam,
I mean, like I said in episodes before, Haruka needs to play the uke because she has a short pinky, and she never got lessons with Kenny. So it's like, Yusuke, points. This is a good setup here.
This felt fulfilling to an arc that was previously totally unfulfilled for her.
And then it comes crashing down almost immediately because, oh man, sorry Yusuke, I'm so sorry Yusuke, but so he comes
straight. Can I just say real quick? I'm looking over my shoulder now. It is weird. I think someone's here. It's just the Tokui cutout. I'm not used to feeling like there's someone else in this room.
Tokui.
I did forget about him. I forgot about Dre, and I looked over. I'm like,
I forgot about Dre.
But Yusuke comes straight out with it, straight out to Haruka. I'm interested in you romantically. Just bam, there it is. And then he asks her out on a fireworks festival date, like together, romantically speaking. And much like we've come to know Haruka for the past 14 weeks, she does not pull any punches and says, I don't think I could develop romantic feelings, but let's still go to the fireworks date together.
I like what she led with, which was like, can we still go even if I don't have romantic feelings for you back? And I don't know why, but that was just like, ooh, that rubbed me the wrong way. That was like really painful.
The funny part is we all know, everyone watching this realizes he's trying to ask her out on a date, but he's saying how he doesn't get to go to Japan very much. He won't be there till the winter time. In the summer, he's not in Japan very much. But he really wants to see a fireworks show. And we all know where this is going. He's going to ask her out. But what does she say? First, she goes, well, I hope you get to see one.
Yeah.
Damn.
Again, this just reeks of, I like someone like you. Not you, but someone who happens to share almost every one of your personality traits.
Like I said last week, she was way too specific and way too aggressive with her pointed compliments. I mean, she basically opened the door and he was just walking through, and then she slammed it in his face. And it's pretty fucked up, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. So my visceral reaction to the scene was that, like, our boy Yusuke, I was actually happy to see that he was taking initiative, even when he was being very forward and upfront his intentions.
Same.
For what, like, hey, I want this to be a date, right? Like a romantic thing. Mm-hmm. Just like putting that out there, right? Because he didn't want it to be like ambiguous on this date if it happens. And of course she shuts him down. And I can't say I didn't see it coming, but like the way she put him down was pretty harsh. Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you. It was pretty harsh. I will say that Yusuke kind of laid it on a little thick and could have recovered a little bit better. But all in all, I don't know. I thought his forwardness was like a nice change, and I thought it was a good thing. I mean, this was like, what, their third time hanging out?
Yeah, I was going to say that I think the third time hanging out is not too soon to asked him out on like a more formal date. Maybe the wording wasn't right. Like, hey, I romantic, whatever we want to argue 2020 hindsight, but I don't think it was too soon to at least say, hey, I'd like to hang out with you and go on a date.
Especially after all the, I still think that the way, like what she was saying, like, oh, I would love someone like you, and I love this about you, and this about you is cool. Like, I think, I don't want to like accuse her of like leading him on, but it felt very like not a mistake for him to read it in the way that he was reading it and then ask her out and then be upset when she was like, nope.
The thing about it too is once it's established that there are some romantic feelings here, even though it's only one-sided, the way that she reacted in the elevator was, I hate bringing this up, man, but was just like the way Lauren reacted after the movie, right? It was like 3-4 feet away, a little wave, a little at the waist, like, goodbye, don't be close to me, it's like, all right, bye, see you. Like, that's not how people that are really, even just if you're cool friends with each other, that's not typically how you say bye, a little side hug or something like that.
Yeah, like
there was some uncomfortableness there.
Yeah, she was trying to get away from that situation as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And sorry to say, man, I feel so bad for Yusuke, man.
That's so bad.
That was a good date. That was a good date.
Yeah,
it was.
It was super cute. Boba, ukulele, like they jammed, and it like was really cool. And she even was like, "Oh wow, you just improvised that? That's like really, really cool." Like he was like, that confidence level was up, and I think that's why he felt prompted to, okay, this is the best time, if any, to bring this up and ask her. Like everything was set up. Like I don't think he made any mistakes in this. I just feel like it was like a weird thing on her side.
Question.
Yeah, I think so too. If things had, if she actually did like him, I don't think that him saying that like, hey, I want this next date or next time we hang out to be a date, I don't think that would have put her off at all.
I have a question for the table here.
Yes.
Okay. Is this how our boy goes out in Tokyo 2019-2020? Is this over? Is it he's dumped and it's done? What do you guys think? I want to go over with each of you.
I'm expecting
Go ahead, Robert.
some fireworks.
Like he's gonna get some?
I'm expecting something big to happen out of this. I don't know what.
What?
But Yusuke did hint us that he's, quote, not a nice guy anymore.
Going from that clue,
yeah, from this part. Remember from my interview, you can check that out for like 3 episodes ago.
Wait, he's not a nice guy.
He said, because I remember, okay, just a quick refresher here. If you listen to that a couple of weeks back, we asked him, are you sick of being called a nice guy all the time and just being considered that nice guy from Terrace House? And his response was, I don't want to spoil it, but just wait for part 2. So I guess with that context clue, right, there has to be some kind of rebuttal here where we find him respond in some way. Hopefully he's not a jerk.
All I'm saying is,
no, I don't think he'll be a jerk.
Well, when he says, I'm not I don't know.
I mean, he didn't, to be fair, he didn't say, I'm not a nice guy. He's not Batman. He's Yusuke. But I will say, I'm expecting fireworks and not in the sky kind of fireworks, but in the metaphorical shit's about to go
fireworks
off.
Festival.
Well, I just hope he doesn't overcorrect and come across as negative.
Yeah,
I don't want that from my dude.
What do you think, Daly? What's your prediction?
I mean, I definitely feel like he's going to be in the show again. I don't think we're going to. Our last look is that lingering shot of like him chewing over his boba in that room and looking sad. This boy. I'm so tired of just like these lingering shots of him looking dejected. I want, something else, something more positive for him. I feel like he's going to have some involvement here, and maybe
he
some
has
real
such a positive.
fireworks.
He has such a positive energy here that like karma, like he just has such a good vibe about him. Like he deserves better than this,
Mm-hmm.
But
give our boy the W.
If he didn't say that to us, I could have definitely seen this episode as being it. That's done. Like, there's no reason for him to come back.
Yeah, that's
true. We did.
It's over.
So here's my prediction. So fireworks date happens. Well, not a date, but fireworks hang sesh happens. Yes, hang sesh happens. Right. And I think what our boy Yusuke is hinting at is that he is fed up. he is like, I think what happens is they go to watch the fireworks and he goes on a fucking rant to Haruka.
They're not going to go watch the fireworks. She's not going with him.
I don't know.
I guess they left it open, but I took that as a no.
So Yusuke is like, not to be like nice guy, but he is a very kind-hearted, polite person. Maybe like when he's like, I'm not gonna be a nice guy, he's gonna say like one slightly negative thing. He's gonna be like, man, I just wish you would see me for who I am and not as just this nice guy. That's gonna be his, and like, that's
his version.
His like, dang, laying down the law, like stepping way over the line. Like it's gonna be like such a non-moment. But he's gonna be like, wow, I can't believe I said that.
Did you ever see that meme, guys, where that
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Yeah. I don't care that you broke your arm.
I'm thinking of the whole time. I love how the kid's eyebrows like move too when he says it. Like he instantly regrets it.
I know. So I think though what we're gonna get is like fireworks festival happens, and he's gonna be sitting next to her, and he's just like, I am just so tired of being rejected because whatever, I'm too nice and yada yada yada. It's gonna be, I don't know. I feel like a rant is inbound.
Man, I hope
feel like our boy is frustrated.
He just like stops talking to her and just finds a nice person to date. That would be the ultimate win.
Yeah,
I think he needs to quit futzing with Haruka because she's not worth it.
Is that spelled with an X?
2 X's.
Ah.
Yeah. I say though, let's table this for now because I have a feeling we will learn about it as we travel further into part 2. We'll see what happens, right? But
hopefully.
Let's journey to the end of this episode because it's an exciting brand new leaf for us to turn because it's something we haven't seen this season yet. But we finally end this episode.
The freaking stand-ups. It's 2 lifelines.
What if it just moved closer and closer?
You want to go see Uncle Cracker or not?
What if Jack starts hearing behind him, I'm not trapped in you.
I hope. Listen. So what I hope happens is I hope Becky comes in and she doesn't see. You don't hear her come in. She creeps in and she just starts moving it closer. And every time you look backwards, it's closer and closer and closer.
This is his new gig now. He just got a lot of free time. He's just hanging out in my bed.
He's just hanging out, pretending to be a cardboard cutout.
Oh, damn it.
Let's journey into the end of the episode here, right? So we get 2 previews of the 2 new members, Shin member, that we're going to get presumably next episode, hopefully, right? But the first one, it's the new girl preview. We're in Hon Atsugi in Kanagawa. They're at a yakiniku place, and she's there with presumably, well, definitely her parents, and I imagine her brother.
I'm assuming it's her brother.
Like her brother, either that or like best friend or something like that. But yeah, she I don't know. It was a weird energy for her to start out with. I'm thinking of moving into Terrace House. And it's like, no, the cameras are here. You are moving into
Terrace. Like really no happening. Question.
I considered it.
About it.
Yeah, I'm considering.
Yeah, but we at least get that her name, or at least maybe her pet name, is Emmy. The other family members call her that. I get the vibe she might be a bit of a daddy's girl because they're all like, "Oh, dad's gonna cry," and I sense, I sense a strong relationship.
Yeah. I definitely get the sense that she's younger, and she's like very much like just very bubbly. And I'm gonna tell you right now, she's a plant for Ruka. That's my prediction.
She's gonna stir the pot. I think she might definitely, as everyone else was, be very attracted to Ruka in the beginning. Get to know him, make fun of him, try and fix him, realize it's a hopeless cause, and then move on to some other guy. No, I don't know, fine. But she's to be there. Black Widow. She's there to stir the pot, and I'm excited for it, and I'm ready to see what happens. I'd love to see how the girls respond to this.
Same. I'm very curious about how she's gonna interact with Kaori and Haruka, more especially Haruka. I think. Hold on. I kind of imagine, Emmy's like coming into the house. Oh, I'm really close with my dad. And Haruka's me like, how old is he? Is he older than 60? I'd love to meet him.
Oh, gosh. Like, Haruka's going to try and date her.
Friends with your dad.
No, oh, my God.
But just she wants to be friends with him because she's friends with everyone who's old, apparently.
Let's go golfing with your dad.
Let's go golfing.
Yeah. And then we also get the preview of the new boy. He's living somewhere in Shimokitazawa, where he's in, it looks like a studio apartment, definitely a small space for one person. And he's a mangaka. He's a manga artist. He draws and creates stories in manga form. And and there's also this really choice shot of like a titty magazine on the table.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he's definitely a lonely boy.
Material. It's just reference material. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Drawing the female
Can I ask a
body.
question?
Yeah, question.
I have questions here. Two things. Was he speaking Italian?
He was.
Yes.
I don't know Italian, but it sounded Italian.
Ciao.
And then second, is he a white? Is he white?
He might be Italian.
Maybe he's
At least
half
part
Greek.
Italian.
He looks white. He looks like a white dude.
He might be.
Nothing wrong with it. It's
We
like,
only
that's
have his
be a Terrace House
chin.
first. I thought we saw more of his face.
No, but he might be a
know.
Hafu, and we've had Hafus in Terrace House before.
Bro, he didn't look half of me. He looked white.
White.
With like 6 H's.
Which would be like a Terrace House first. We will see. This is crazy.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I'm more surprised that we've never had a mangaku before.
Mangaku?
Yeah,
Mangaka.
mangaka.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
I thought Robert said Mangaku. I don't know.
Yeah,
Mangekyo Sharingan.
mangaka.
Yeah,
Sharingan.
We've never had a Mangekyo Sharingan on
Yeah.
the show before.
Can we get some mango in the house?
Yeah, I'd
Mango.
love some mango in the house.
My cat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I thought it was really cool because when he started speaking Italian, I was like, Nani the fuck? This isn't. That's not Japanese.
Yeah, it took me about
Right?
halfway through to figure out. I was like, yeah, that's not Japanese.
I was anticipating English, and then suddenly Italian.
A wild
Wow.
Italian appeared.
This is going to be crazy. I can't wait to watch the next episode.
Yeah, it's a one
Same.
plain ass apartment our boy lives in.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
very-
space at a premium. It's in Tokyo. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in seeing him and Kaori interact because illustration and manga are like in the same world, but they're still very different. I feel like fashion illustration versus like sitting down drawn comics, like these long, like even like just like a chapter of manga takes like a week to draw.
So we have seen this before, and I'm not accusing the producers of this, but Colin said it earlier with, what was the new girl's name? Sorry, I already
Yeah, we haven't
Emmy?
gotten it. Have we?
Emmy? No, but you said it
Emmy.
before. She's a plant for Ruka.
Yeah.
This mango guy is going to be a plant for Kaori. It
I can
seems
see
like
that
they
too.
both have a
That's
lot in
amazing.
common.
Mango guy.
I don't know, but it's like, but we've seen the counter programming happen before, right? When the love is stagnant in the house, it happened to Taka. It's happened before in the past. This isn't the first time where someone just conveniently that's perfect they think for someone in the house is brought in. So we'll see.
I will say
Interesting.
the new guy seems a little bit more nuanced than that because yes, I think he could interact pretty well with Kaori because we also know not only is Kaori an illustrator, but also she is a fan of manga. She talks to Ruka about Attack on Titan. She talks with her brother about whatever's hot that week, right? But more importantly, as I just said, she talks to Ruka about manga. So Ruka is
Yeah.
another comic book nerd, both of the Western and the Eastern varieties. So I'm curious how the new guy is going to interact with Ruka, right? Because now
Interesting
it's
point.
like, yeah, because
Did
now
they
it's
get
like,
Draw me as Spider-Man.
can you draw Iron Man? Are you Iron Man?
Spider-Man.
Oh my gosh! Listen, did they get into what Emmy does, or just that she has a family?
She has a family.
Okay, well,
She
what,
likes
you guys want to take
Yakiniku.
bets? Do we want to take bets on if she's a model or
Model.
Model.
100%. Model.
not? Okay, we'll see.
We'll see. I have no clue.
Or a spying actress.
I mean, here's the
Aspiring
thing, right?
actress. Good God. Okay.
We've only gotten one model so far this season, right? Explicitly one. And no, we actually haven't.
Haruka.
Wait, we haven't gotten a
Models.
single model. You're right.
How did you?
Ruka should be a model, and I don't ever say that, but the boy can't do shit else. Like, stand there and get your picture taken. You know what I mean? Like, he should be a model, right?
Yeah. I mean,
he's got
I'm
the
not
look.
going to disparage the modeling career because I believe it is much harder than just standing there.
Well, I mean, for Ruka's skill set right now, you don't have to go to school for it. Like, like wear these good clothes, make a cute face.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
He
mean,
just he couldn't because he just kept doing like the Spider-Man poses. Like he couldn't help it.
Yeah,
It was
he
just
kept-
inherent.
oh my
Yeah.
God.
Strike a pose. Whip.
So We have new people, fresh meat in the house. I can't wait. And I think one of them is white.
Dude, I'm honestly excited about the new guy because I don't know. I like it when there are foreigners on the show, or hafus at least. You know, I mean, look at O&D.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, look at O&D, right? Like, Shion was a fantastic addition to the cast, and he stayed on the show for like 20 episodes, and it was like, this is great. So,
yeah, well, I'm ready, man. We've been asking for this. Here we are.
Same.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
So I say, yeah, let's walk into 2020 strong because we're about to see a wild new era of Tokyo 2019-2020.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think I'm excited. I think it's going to be great. But
it's looking up. It's looking up.
It's looking written in manga up.
Tokui approves.
That's one thing I also worry about, actually. If the new guy is a mangaka, that is a demanding job. If he's like serialized, I guess we don't know, right? But if he is, he's only a busy boy.
Also, is he drawing pornographic manga? Because
we don't know.
Magazine.
Just saying, he had a titty magazine.
Find out. Yeah, we'll find out.
We'll see.
Boy's a fucking hentai artist.
Watch him be the artist that drew Shohei's shirt with the monoki.
Oh my god!
Yeah, Shohei just comes downstairs like, "Oh, hello, nice to meet you." And the new guy's like, "Is that my shirt? That's my shirt."
That's my shirt.
And they hit
they're
it
best
off.
friends forever. Yeah,
there it is. But that brings this episode of Tadaima to a close. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, comments, theories, anything that you think we missed from this episode of Terrace House, please email any and all of those things to us at questions@terracehousepodcast.com. You can catch us next Tuesday in 2020.
Hey.
That's wild. Where we're going to talk about episode 15, A Man's Worth is Determined by His Job.
Shohei.
Shohei. That's the first thing that comes to mind for me too.
Pressure.
But you'll have to wait till next week to hear our thoughts on that episode. This has been Tadaima. Thanks for listening. Itekimasu.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
If you enjoy our show, please like, comment, and subscribe, and ding the bell to receive notifications when we publish new content. Follow us on social media and check out our brand new Discord server linked in the description below.